You were born in ancient Egypt, and right off the bat, you have no idea what you're about to face. Because, unlike being born a slave, a peasant, or even a soldier, you were lucky enough to be born with the gift of sight. Or at least that's what the temple says. Since you were little, while other children hunted beetles in the mud of the Nile, you were locked inside dark chambers, surrounded by scribes and priests who wanted to extract answers from you that you didn't even know existed. Look at the fire, they said. Listen to the gods, they insisted. But no one explained what would happen if, one day, the gods decided to remain silent. Being a prophet in ancient Egypt was like holding a double-edged sword, or better said, holding a snake by the tail. If you got it right, you were worshipped. If you got it wrong, you were cursed. At age 12, your first prophecy. A fat priest, smelling of myrrh oil and old sweat, forces you to predict whether the next harvest festival will bring abundance or drought. You close your eyes, pretend to hear voices, and vent an abundant rain. Luckily, that year the Nile floods. You survive and gain fame. But fame is a golden bait. The higher the pedestal, the harder the fall. And in Egypt, no one is more useful dead than a failed prophet. In your youth, you have already learned the choreography of the farce. Serious look, raised hands, hoarse voice to appear possessed. Behind you, priests murmur prayers as if you were the one speaking to Ra, Isis, or Osiris. But in practice, all you do is read faces, guess what they want to hear, predict without predicting anything, throw words into the wind hoping the wind will bring luck back. The problem is that one day, the wind changes. The Pharaoh, tired of flatterers, wants clear answers. He summons you to the palace, stone columns covered in hieroglyphics, guards who look at you as if they already know they are going to carry you out, dead or alive. He asks if the wars in the East will end. You say yes, because saying no is asking for the blade of disappointment to fall on your head. Months later, the warriors return in pieces, and now it's your fault. It doesn't matter if it was an arrow, an ambush, or if the general was an idiot. The prophet is the messenger, and in ancient Egypt, messengers died along with the message. You spend sleepless nights hearing footsteps of guards outside. You sleep with your eyes open, because those who dream too much end up prophesying their own death. The city murmurs. In the markets, your name is whispered along with words like fraud, cursed, liar. Some worship you, but most just want to see if your blood really appeases the angry gods. Then the day comes when the high priest enters your chamber. He doesn't say much, he just says that the gods require a proof of purity. You are led into a cold room, lit by torches that dance like serpents. There, on your knees, you hear prayers in a language you should understand, but which now sounds like a sentence. The test is simple. You must guess the correct omen. If you get it wrong, you will be sealed alive inside a sarcophagus, condemned to suffocate in the dark. Your heart beats like war drums. Sweat runs down your back. You close your eyes and lie. You tell them what you think they want to hear. Did you get it right? No one knows. The high priest just smiles, a smile that promises nothing but silence. On the way out, you cross eyes with other young people. Some try to imitate you, eyes rolled back, voices trembling, believing that being a prophet is a path to luxury. Little do they know that luxury is just a curtain of incense. Behind it, everything stinks of fear. When the Pharaoh dies, guess who is called to legitimize the successor? You, of course. Your mouth has to say that the new Pharaoh is chosen by the gods. If you don't, the next sacrifice in the temple may have your name on it. You speak. The crowd applauds. But you know that each applause is a nail in the lid of your sarcophagus. The scribes write down every syllable on papyrus that will outlive you. One day, someone will read what you said and say, "How wise." They don't know that the wise man was just trying to not die that morning. With each correct prophecy, your head becomes more expensive. With each error, your head becomes more expensive. And no one makes mistakes forever with impunity. At night, you wonder if it wouldn't have been better to have been just a fisherman. To sink in the Nile perhaps would have been more merciful than to suffocate in the granite of a tomb. You hear footsteps again. You touch your forehead. Feel the sweat. You wonder what your last lie will be, and whether it will save you or bury you for good.
You get up before the sun rises, because those who sleep too much don't see the blade coming. In the temple courtyard, priests prepare offerings, doves, fruits, wine, and you, standing, trying not to be the next offering. People kneel and kiss the stone floor. You watch from above, but don't be fooled. Inside, your spine bends more than anyone else's. The high priest places his heavy hand on your shoulder. It is as if a crocodile has bitten your collarbone. He whispers, "The gods want more answers." Answers. You learned early on that no one wants the truth. They just want to feel safe in the right lie. Then you step up to the altar, raise your hands, and recite ancient words that no one understands. Your voice echoes between columns covered in painted eyes. Each eye is a warning. Nothing escapes, not even you. Your chest burns. Maybe it's fear, maybe it's fever. Who knows? Maybe it's the curse they promise you if you make another mistake. Down below, nobles lean on talismans, asking for blessings, for childbirth, for war, for the harvest. Little do they know that all you see are blurs, mixed faces, hopes that do not belong to you. At night, in your chamber, you turn over papyri, trying to decipher what the stars want, but all you see is the reflection of your own condemnation. Do you remember the first day you entered the temple? So small, so scared. They promised you that you would be closer to the gods. No one told you that you would be even closer to death. When the people sleep, you hear footsteps in the hallways. Torches cast shadows on the walls, figures that look like demons, but are only priests too old to kill with their bare hands. They have slaves for that, and the copper blade does not miss the neck of a lying prophet. So you do what you've always done. You lie again. You write omens that comfort, that soothe Pharaoh's fury. If only someone would prophesy for you. But a prophet has no prophet. A prophet has fear. And fear, in ancient Egypt, is fuel to survive another season on the Nile. The next day, the palace summons you again. The corridors are long, so long they seem to swallow your footprints. Servants look away. No one wants to witness the prophet who could bleed at any second. The throne is high. The Pharaoh is young, but his eyes are as old as a sarcophagus. He asks if the gods would approve of a marriage with a rival princess. You swallow hard. Say yes, of course you do, because saying no is declaring war. And if there is a war, and the war is not won, who was at fault? You. Always you. The Pharaoh smiles, but his smile is crooked, the kind that tears trust to shreds. He nods, and you are dismissed, but not free. Never free. Outside, the sun burns the stone floor. You look at the horizon and think that perhaps it would be better to run. But where to? The desert has no mercy, and the walls are higher than your dreams of escape. Then you come back. Always come back, like a puppet accepting its own strings. At night, you dream of snakes, snakes that talk, snakes that bite you, snakes that have the face of the Pharaoh. Wake up to the sound of drums, temple festival, animal sacrifices, incense burning as if it could hide the smell of fear emanating from your skin. You wear your white robes. You walk slowly among statues of gods who, ironically, never respond when you need them most. Think of the prophets who came before you. Where are they now? Mummies in forgotten tombs, crushed bones beneath the pyramids. They say that those who listen to the gods gain immortality, but no one tells you that this immortality is just your name scrawled on walls, while your body rots far from the light. At the altar, you speak another prophecy. Your voice trembles. The people swallow each syllable as if it were sacred wine. But inside, you know, every word is a noose tightening around your neck. The high priest watches you, eyes narrowed. He knows you see nothing but smoke and terror, but while the crowd believes, he also pretends to believe. Ancient Egypt survives like this. Each lie supports another. Each temple hides a tomb. Each prophecy is a disguise for the fear of facing what really comes from heaven. You finish the ritual. The people applaud. You smile. Inside, you cry. And you ask yourself, tomorrow, who will applaud you when you are sealed inside a stone coffin? Because in the end, being a prophet in ancient Egypt was not a gift. It was a delayed death sentence. And you, ironically, were the one who prophesied most of your own downfall. A vision so clear that even the gods dared not dispute it.